Any crazy stories from that time you remember fondly? You can make
There's
people
a lot,
anonymous
but the
if you
ones
need
that I
to.
want to say on camera,
Okay.
just screaming at the top of our lungs, with a bowl of
Hop up in the city in a tuk tuk. Make me put
and not completely topless, but lacking in, definitely in some fabric. But no, it was still, yeah, modest enough. But yeah, maybe that was
down the city in
I
a
do
new style
recall
whip.
that I
Yeah,
thought,
got cop road groom tap.
Do you think
Hmm.
it's getting close to the sun? Sam,
Hi,
how are you?
good.
Yeah? How you been? It's been a while.
Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty busy, insane, just doing lots of shit, as most people are, staying afloat
Yeah?
as it is, yeah. But good, and you?
But you got 2.5 locations?
2.5 locations. So here is a new location in 22, Sukhumvit 22. We've had Sukhumvit 19 for 4 years, and then we have a half, technically, which is a takeaway in Ekaway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Near everyone. Brilliant.
Yeah, yeah. Took a bit of time to get there, but yeah, let's see how it goes.
So when I met you, God, 15 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
you were,
Where was that anyway? I can't even remember.
well, online first. We were
Oh,
early adopters of Facebook.
Facebook. were you in the MySpace era?
Probably, but I don't
Yeah.
think we were
I
friends on
missed that,
MySpace.
So goofy, but I loved it.
I remember when Facebook was good. Yeah, and you were
Yeah.
definitely like someone to know. You were always at the parties. You
Yeah.
were always the fun one at networking events because everyone else was like CEO of a company or an ambassador, so they had a reputation to uphold. Whereas me and you were burning our reputations in return for social capital. Is that a fair summary?
Yes. I think, what was I even doing at that time? I think I was doing working the very hard title of party girl in Bangkok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Notoriously hard to turn a
As you
profit.
do when you first come to Bangkok.
You tried to monetize it though.
You make that sound really shady.
Sorry, I've just come from a week of like a business networking event, so that's just the language I'm speaking.
Yeah, that's right. I got it. How did I, turn that around? No, it was more like came here looking to, reacquaint or get in touch with my roots as a supposedly Thai woman, but born in Australia, and then what turned out to be just like a 3-month language course. Turned out to be 6, like hanging around for 6 months, 1 year, and
like a lot of people came here for a bit and ended up here forever.
Discovered places like Bed Supper Club, Cuba. Yes,
The
I
golden
blame
era.
you guys.
The golden era of Sukhumvit Live.
David and Sanya, I blame you guys. So no, it was definitely the golden. What do you say? The I don't know if they every generation says the same thing, that was really the peak moments, the peak time, the highlights.
But the thing is, 40-year-olds don't like going to nightclubs. So
Well, that's the
they
thing.
can't judge it, can they?
Fuck. And when I go out, if somebody tries to drag me out to a nightclub now, it's just, I'm just like the grandma there, and it's all, nobody's dancing, and it's just all elbows under your in your ribs, and
do you want to hear my hack?
it's
I'm
not
really
that
proud
much
of
fun.
this.
Yeah.
I was doing this in my 20s even.
Yeah.
Always wear flip-flops. And then
Oh.
whenever it's the after party, I'm like, let's go to a nightclub. You're like,
Oh,
sorry,
that's
I
your
can't.
out.
Yeah.
No, I just do the Irish exit. I just don't say goodbye to any fucker. I'm just like,
Just
flip
yeah.
out. Yeah.
Amazing.
Until later, did you get home okay? That's the text message you see the next morning. You're like, yeah, I'm okay. In one piece. So, yeah, so those were the days.
So you were having fun. I would always see you on a good night out. You were in the right place if I saw you across the room. All right, cool. Found the right part.
Yeah. I knew the places to go.
And me and you, especially when I was with your mom, were often doing like 2-3 parties per night.
It was insane.
It was good to be seen.
Succession of parties.
At that point, it feels like work more than.
Yeah, no, it was like, and back in those days, everything was open until ungodly hours. So you would start, your drinking session at 6 at a bar or at a pub, and then we'd go on to, like another bar, and then we'd go on to the after parties, and that's when you knew you'd gone too far. And it was too late. Point of no return.
The sign is when like you're shuffling along and you start seeing the monks doing their rounds.
Oh.
Like,
Meanwhile,
sounds
you're
really
holding
good.
your heels, doing the walk of shame. My head was always down, and the security was like just running past the security like this. Yeah, but no, it's kind of what shape does. I would say to be.
Didn't mess us
If
up
we
at all.
didn't get up, I think people with as much energy as what we have, I think if we didn't exert that energy during that period of our lives, I think we'd be fucked up today. Essentially,
Yeah.
I think we
Filled with
needed
regrets.
that. I don't know if anyone can say, oh, you needed to, have like 4 or 5 days straight of partying and drinking and, among other things. But people who have a high level, I'm often anxious, I have a lot of energy, as you know, and so do you. So it was always like wanting to do projects, having ideas, putting together clubs. It was nonstop. So now at this time of our lives, or for me especially, I have, Viva, I have my agency, and I have Bangkok Foodies, so I'm pretty set.
So before we talk
For now.
about the retirement
Yes.
phase, we put up to pasture. Any
Yes.
crazy stories from that time you remember fondly? You can make
There's
people
a lot,
anonymous
but the
if you
ones
need
that
to.
I want to say on camera,
Okay.
I would just talk about moments that I miss, and I think a lot of people can relate, was the glory days of Sukhumvit 11 with Bed Supper, and like I said, with Cuba, and I used to spend a lot of time at a van, at the booze vans,
Oh yeah.
and there was one that was red, and I even remember his name. His name was Kunchot, and he would feed us Long Island buckets.
Yeah.
So it was that sort of PP Island vibe, in smack bang in the middle of the city, one of those vans that were just sitting sort of idling in the street, and I think that's where a lot of the crazy nights for me started, was in Sukhumvit 11 at the red van, and I think I could relate some of the crazy nights to my injuries. Most of them I still have today. Like, this finger is still fucked up. I fell out of a tuk-tuk. I don't know if you can call it fallout or gracefully exited the tuk-tuk.
Dismounted.
Landed right on my finger. Basically dislocated it. And what else? Friend used to have, I'm not sure if it was a friend of a friend, had one of those rooftop, those cars with the reclining.
Oh yeah, convertible. Yeah.
Yeah. And back in that day, that's just like unheard of.
Yeah.
So, as you do, going down Sukhumvit, bat out of hell. I don't know how many miles per hour he was doing, just screaming at the top of our lungs, with a bottle of, I think it was Grey Goose or something, which I don't even like, and not completely topless, but lacking in, definitely in some fabric was amiss. But no, it was still
Modest.
set,
and
classy,
classy.
modest enough.
Of course.
But
fine
yeah,
balance.
maybe that was one of those moments that I do recall that I thought,
Do you think
think
it's getting close to the sun? Do you think the glory days were great partially because there were less people here, and so like if you went out a few nights back to back, you kind of met half the scene that week. You know what I mean? Like, especially because there were less places. So divided now, right? And it's better for it. People can choose what they want if they're into hip hop or R&B.
Yeah.
They used to just be the club, the after party.
I think I have to say, like you said, it's all sort of fragmented now. And back in the day, the expat community were pretty tight, in the sense that we segregated usually around the same points. And then of course you met, the same faces. You would meet the new faces that would soon become old faces. There are even some people today that I still am in contact with that moved back, and we still occasionally drop the the Facebook happy birthday, how's life, 3 kids and a mortgage later, and so it's definitely different. But then again, I'm not I'm not going out. I'm not Gen Z, so I don't really know what the scene is like. But as you say, I think a lot of them aren't actually going out very much in terms of, bar, well, maybe
The last
clubbing at
two
least.
have been the first generations to drink less than
Oh,
before. And partly that's just broke, but also I think like they have something called mental health. They
Okay.
talk about their problems.
it's overrated.
Yeah, I would just self-medicate. I just skip the
Yeah,
therapy,
yeah.
just skip to,
Yeah. That's
drugs.
how we dealt with things, just.
and we turned out fine.
That's why they say, "Oh, she has a big personality." Yeah. So no, I'm to be honest, I'm very grateful to have been here during that era. And it's funny because I still see people that are still around today, and they're still, and they've developed, they've grown as such, and they have their own business, they have families, and but it's also a reminder of your imminent demise.
Well, this is part of the problem because I
Yeah.
was, partying, having a lot of fun, then
Mm.
went back. Was struggling, and went back and reset
That's
my
right.
life. Right.
Yeah.
And then when I was looking forward to kind of moving back here, I was sort of excited to meet up with all my friends I used to party with, and the ones that are still successful and survived Bangkok are now not partying every night, obviously,
Yeah.
because the ones that did ended up in prison or
Yeah. Or they're
worse.
still kind of doing it, but by themselves, and you don't really want to join them anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been tough for me. I think I'm gonna park at remember Fatty's bar?
I miss that sort of fatties, that little movement that's happening at fatties. I miss it. I think because of where it was located. Where was it at the time? Where is it now?
It's always been is it Ramanine, so next to the Aesop Junction. And it's one of those where if you're going there,
Oh right.
Aesop's the obvious one, but it's just
Right. Yeah. No.
one
I
over.
never.
So
I never-
we were for us it was walkable from where we were staying.
Okay.
But yeah, unless you're really into Milwaukee dive bars or
Yeah.
Farang's playing bad live music,
That yeah.
it's a long way
Doable.
across town to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm just going to park there, I think, for an afternoon.
It's your touchstone.
And just no, but
Yeah.
I'm an age where I can't just talk to people now. I have to record it for content.
Oh.
So it's awkward to be like,
So
let's
you
just
are
hang out
Gen
and
Z
chat.
anyway. So
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
The world has turned
Oh, that's nice.
on me a bit with it. So yeah, I just think I'll park at Factories for a few hours and just talk to people. And
Yeah, and you have
hopefully
you get
meet
some great
wild,
stories from
crazy
it.
people there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What started you on this podcast journey, by the way? The
Wait for that to
interviewees
start.
becoming the interviewer.
Wait for that second. Try that question again.
Fuck, I can't remember what I said.
What started me?
Oh, what started you on the doing podcasts essentially like?
First I just missed my friends from uni and the chats we used to have late night over a spliff.
Yeah.
And so I got a mate who was into philosophy and another mate that was into sociology, and I had a master's in psychology, and we would just approach a different topic of conversation that was big in the news at the time and sort of debate that. And
Okay.
they used to be very woolly and lefty. I was very centrist, so that was a fun debate. But then,
What's centrist like on the fence?
kind of the
middleman.
theory that all these extreme people just can't we all get along and be friends?
Yeah. Well, that's actually that's part of me as well. Yeah. No,
don't-
you have to be on one
You're
side.
too cool to be saying you have to be saying. No, well, this is the problem: is that COVID radicalized me aggressively, and so the podcast is just a sort of capturing that moment of me going from being a salesman in London, very different beliefs, to me being this weird champagne socialist. And the podcast stopped being fun.
Okay. Except for now.
Well, that was that, and that's why that
Yeah.
podcast ended. And then
Ah.
here I thought I'd start something just to meet my friends of old and share some stories to promote my comedy club. But now the comedy club's gone bankrupt, so I don't know what I'm doing really, Sam. By the time we got this interview together, I no longer really have a purpose to push this podcast. So I don't know what I'm doing here, honestly. I'm a bit
We're
lost.
just hanging out. It's fun.
Yes. But it'd be awkward if I just said, hey, let's hang out for an hour and talk.
Yeah, and just turn the
Have to
camera on,
fi-
and
have to
nobody
film
else
that.
is gonna see it. You're not gonna publish it.
It's just called a conversation, isn't
Yeah.
it? Ain't nobody
Okay.
got
Well, who
time for that.
knows? Who knows? Like doing these sorts of things. I mean, as a passion, or
That's what I hope. Is
keeps
that
you going.
an excuse to meet up with interesting people
Yeah.
and have some interesting stories. So You were here partying, and then you started doing social media marketing for events and stuff.
Yeah, so it's sort of that case of where you're doing something for fun, and then somehow you get dragged into doing shit as work, and then that work becomes actual work, and that's sort of how now I have an agency. So yeah, so it's kind of that whole thing where the partying paid off, the networking paid off, the being social, sorry for the word, but butterfly paid off because at some point people ask, let's say with restaurants, because, I'm a big foodie, or people with bars would say, look, just come, we'll treat you, just publish something on your social media. And this was before the whole KOL blogger thing fucking existed.
You were
dude, I was
influencer
just
before
like,
it was a word.
this is interesting. I can drink for free and I just have to publish my antics online. And this is obviously huge business now. However, I don't use my image, my personal image, to promote any sort of brand. But other than my agency, doing brand building, for doing PR essentially.
I remember you saying that early then.
Yeah.
It must have been, nearly 15 years ago when you said okay, I want to build an agency to help with social media and not just be an influencer in front of the camera.
Right.
I remember you sort of posting that.
Oh, that's nice you remember.
That's
lovely.
And I always looked up to you because I was kind of thinking of doing what you were doing and being realised there was a lot of people failing to do it as well as you, I put it that way. And I think myself included.
I think the danger of putting your personal brand, I mean, it's great. I mean, I so admire what let's say like Mark Wiens and etc. is doing, but I enjoy the strategic side of things now. It's sort of like how can we market, how can we, develop the PR angle and the messaging and everything. I much prefer to be sort of behind the scenes, but in saying that, there's no way to avoid it. But Sam is, if she's there, she's there. And they're like, Sam's here.
When you enter a room, people
awesome.
know.
And you know people, and that's I love it. I of course it's a little bit of an ego thrill for the ego, but knowing a lot of people and that being invited and whatnot. But as a personality, or I think maybe that's something that I could look at for the future. But I think I'm very happy to represent other people's brands. I mean, including my own here, and try to make it as much, consider it like it's my brand and make it successful for them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a few tangents you've gone there, but I think the key is you didn't just become the talent, the face in front of the camera. You learn the behind the scenes thing as well.
Yeah.
And that's very useful to learn. Like the DJ that then learns to produce and has his own recording studio, and there's more options. And you've ended up then having your own real brick and mortar business.
Yes, dude, I knew nothing about PR. I mean, I had no formal training, and even as a writer, I've always loved to write. I studied literature. I never succeeded in getting my diploma or anything. So I dropped out, just FYI. But that didn't stop me, because I thought, look, I enjoy writing. I'm going to start writing about food. And then I wrote for several magazines, just sort of ad hoc and for fun. And then that became a little bit more serious. And then I said, screw that. I'm going to open my own blog and open Bangkok Foodies. And then from that came, okay, for example, PR. I would go to events and I would see how they operate. It's just through observation, like how does it work when you invite media? I mean, what the fuck is a press release? All these things I just worked out by myself. Like, how is this going to work? And a lot of it, to be very honest, I bluffed. I just, as you do, I just talked out of my ass. And if I didn't know, there was no ChatGPT then. There was Google. But
I would ask you before I asked ChatGPT.
Yeah. But you just, what, man, you work it out. You just work it out.
But you had to though. I mean, you talk about industries which are pretty new. Right? There was no playbook, so...
No.
You say bluff, but who knew what they were doing? Everyone was just trial and erroring it.
I mean, there's no school for PR really, or brand building. It's something that, that of course you can study marketing, you can study public relations, but I sort of skipped all of that and got the real life experience in terms of what being at all these events, all these media events, and figuring out a little bit like being both on the media blogger side and also being sort of on the as a PR agency side, I could sort of see the gaps and see, okay, as a media, this is what I would want, or as a PR, this is what I would do better.
Yeah.
So I sort of figured it out.
That's a good party.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's kind of how, it happened.
Yeah, like a lot of us, I think it's very rare these days for someone to say, "When I grow up, I want to be an accountant."
Yeah.
Not yet. I'm sure that those kids exist, but I probably wasn't hanging out with them.
You know, it's so hard to find staff these days because most people, I mean, I'm talking very generally, but we're talking this generation. It's great, they want to be in marketing. But dude, there's like real life work involved. Like there's actually a lot of administrative work. You know, there's a lot of organization and, you know, like being able to know how to deal with your clients and being very detailed, like all these sorts of things that they don't teach you. You know, it's all that sort of glamorous, you know, I want to be on the camera, or, you know, I want to be checking in the media, the events, and it's it's not easy to find someone that that sort of has clarity on what it's really like.
Yeah.
I mean, like the work that's involved, and maybe that's coming from social media. I mean, it is coming from social media, like glamorizing and just saying, oh, it's easy, you know, to generate money by, you know, producing content, and this can be your life. You can travel, you know, you don't have to work, you don't have to have a 9-to-5 job. I mean, you don't have to have a 9-to-5 job, but dude, you still have to work. You know, you have to still put the hard yards in.
Yes.
To make things happen. And yeah, sure, you can travel, be a travel blogger, and you know, but the reality is every motherfucker gonna do that? Is it not gonna be anyone that's actually staying to do any kind of methodical work?
Well, and that's
otherwise
where you win.
it's impossible
Yeah.
to make things run.
And that's from the outside looking in, you're always having fun at a party, and I didn't see the nerdy admin work you're doing in the background.
Yeah, nobody sees that.
Yeah.
And that's fine. there is a lot of nerdy admin stuff happening in the background. It's not just like, ta-da, here's an event, welcome, here's some drinks, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of planning involved. There's, you know, in terms of who you invite and, you know, following up with the clippings and, you know, having to send reports. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the problem with the sort of the influencers who get good metrics and, you know, lots of eyeballs on them. If you've never had to be responsible for sales at the end of it, if that's just like someone else's problem, then you only know how to make half the cake.
Yeah. No, but I have to say that in saying all that, I'm not backtracking, but it's pretty cool, like what you see the kids doing nowadays. You know, like they're they're less into drugs. You know, that's great, and into the drinking.
Yeah.
And
So I've heard.
and
I tried being sober, didn't.
Yeah,
fit
they're
with
into
my lifestyle.
wellness, and you know. So what if they do some freaking dance? And you know, why not? That's cute, and they're not messing themselves up as we were doing back in the day. So, and they're creating content. The only problem is not the only problem, but the huge problem is spending that amount of time in your phone, in Meta, with AI. There's that detachment from reality so much, and that's the scary thing. It's sort of, what do you think about it?
Well, the only thing I think sad is, you know, when I see someone walking around Bangkok for a week, constantly shooting content, and good for them, it funds the trip. You know, for some people it's probably their only way. But is it really a holiday? Like I actually,
I'm telling you, no, man, it's not.
yeah, I
It's
don't
not.
judge.
It's-
I don't judge them for being lazy influencers. I think they're
Mm.
working all
They
the time,
are.
and
They
they
are.
either
They're
off.
on.
And that's
They're
the
on.
problem, right?
Yeah.
Like if you go
Yeah.
to Bangkok and you're constantly shooting content,
Yeah.
have you had a holiday in Bangkok? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So,
It's almost like if I go to a review to a beautiful restaurant, which oh my god, of course, I'm extremely grateful, but it's not the same as just going to a nice dinner for an anniversary and being treated and like the phone is on the table. It's not even on the table, it's in your fucking bag.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not even thinking about it. You know, and you look at the food comes, no photo, no video,
yeah.
no lights, hand lights coming out. And you know what? You eat it when the temperature is right.
And
You
you're
know
enjoying
how long it's been? I haven't had
the environment,
going out and
the
having
company.
a dish that's supposed to be warm and eating it warm. Like it's crazy.
Mm.
But I mean, woe is me. Oh, poor me. But no, it's just a reflection of I mean, it's work. It's work.
But
And
you've been quite famously outspoken against some of the sacred cows of the Bangkok scene, the overhyped restaurants, I'll say. And I think that's fascinating for two reasons. One, most people in the influencer space don't want to bite the hand that's feeding them, so it's an industry built on giving glowingly positive reviews in the circle jerk.
Yeah.
But also in Thailand it's dangerous because you can go to prison for a negative TripAdvisor
Right.
review. We know people that have.
You know, I learned my lesson. I really did learn my lesson back in the day, like still wet behind the ears, saying what I want, how I want. This was without having my first restaurant.
Right. So now you know what it means.
Oh, it's straight through the heart, even just a slight comment. But it's, in saying that, still, it's good to give constructive feedback. But in terms of what you publish, it's that case of if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
But I have seen you criticize some of the big overpriced Michelin star restaurants here in Bangkok.
Yeah, I mean, I don't call anyone out in particular,
It's
and I
not
haven't
hard to
done
guess
that
who you're
for.
talking about.
And I haven't done it in a long time, but
Okay.
but that's sort of like I said, a lesson learned that it's still someone's livelihood.
Mm.
There are team members that rely on that position, for example. So it's like having my own business and my own restaurant has definitely given me more perspective on humbling, and I've adopted a new process where if something is really, really not good, I will propose to that venue. I will say, okay, I will give you my honest feedback, and I will. And then it's almost like mafia. So you want me to write about it, or you want me to give you feedback? Take a choice. No, but
I can
you know what
publish this
I mean?
for free, or you could pay me to not publish.
There's no fee involved, but yeah, it's sort of like I have to say, and everyone has been receptive. They either don't know, they don't realize. I don't think I found one case where maybe they might be a little bit how can I say, surprised at the response, but they're always appreciative because but at the same time, who am I? Who am I to
Better
also
than most
judge?
critics,
But-
though, because the expression "those who can't end up as critics," right? But you do run a restaurant, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
do
so
know
I
what
just-
you're talking. You have been on the other side.
Sure, but
before.
but I'm not a chef. I'm not doing molecular cuisine and stuff like that. But I have it for sure. I can say one thing. I can say is I have a good taste. Yeah, I have quite an acute taste for picking up on flavors and understanding balance and cooking. Even though I don't cook, I mean well. This is just something that I've always sort of had. Taste for. But I think most people, like I said, they're cool about it, and I like if I've ever had a really bad experience, and I have to say that is rare. Bangkok is, I have to say, I was so lucky to be in Bangkok. The level is so damn high. if you're
And the
having
value as well, crazy.
if you're having a bad dish, then dude, there's something really wrong. And as you say, maybe I'm outspoken, but I'm also an honest person. But I still to be respectful, and I don't need to, as you know, and you have to be careful of the liabilities involved with, So, but I think it's more out of respect as a business owner.
Yeah, well, there's nothing worse than like, and I think this is particularly a British thing where everyone will sit around bitching about a meal. And the staff comes in, is everything fine? Oh yeah, fine. And
it's fine at the time.
They'll go home and slate it, you know? And
exactly.
And you're like,
oh, that's horrible.
Any business that cares would have appreciated some constructive criticism.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're not asking you, I would hope they're not asking you for you to give them bullshit. They're asking you because they genuinely want to know.
This happens, right? Like 5 minutes into a meal when someone comes on with, is everything okay? That is your chance, if it's not, to get it redone.
Yes, exactly.
And there's this weird class of people that then just say at the end, oh, it was too salty. And like, we could have fixed that.
Yeah, so it's overcooked. It's like, we could have recooked, we could have remade it for you or whatnot. So just the way it is. And I think you'll find more and more these days that, I mean, do you even see real critics in Bangkok? Are there even any kind of...
Well, it's just glowing reviews over positive.
But why does it have to be glowing? For me, I just like to provide an experience. Your readers with an experience. But this is what I experienced. This is what I like. This is maybe what I least like.
So the algorithm doesn't like nuance. Okay. Right. So there's two types of people starting now. Probably always been the case, but that does immediately well and gets quick feedback. Amazing. There's the super negative. If you're familiar with Alpha Omega occasionally, a bold Irish guy that's just constantly bitching about Thailand and how horrible his life is here. And then there's the people that are like,
go back to your country.
I don't often say that, but
I'm just saying. I can see the reaction now. Yeah,
if you don't like it, leave. There's planes every day. Go.
No, but they're doing that for engagement.
I mean,
And
then there's the people that are over positive and are like, quit your job, move to Thailand. The streets are paved with gold here. And both are just so wrong.
I agree. No, of course. There has to be an element of like honesty and authenticity. And I hope what I convey when I do my little posts that it is authentic. What I'm writing is authentic. And if something is amiss, maybe sometimes you'll read between the lines. Because it might just be they have this and that.
Oh yes.
Void of any kind of.
That's my hack.
Personal.
If I'm looking at a place, I'll go to the 1-star reviews and I'll see what they're complaining about. And very often it's like, we went there 1 p.m. on a Saturday, just as the place had opened, and it was full to the brim, and it took us an hour to get served. And you're like, it would. Like, I would look at that restaurant and go, is anyone particularly hungry and eager for food? If so, this is not the right place.
Exactly.
So I'll go to that place, despite that 1-star review.
Critical
obviously.
thinking.
Yeah. But then you go for the 4-star reviews and you have to read between the lines and someone's like, a little bit of food poisoning. You're like, okay.
That's a little odd, but yeah. I mean, I would appreciate that they would contact the restaurant. You should contact the restaurant directly. I mean, unless they didn't get a response. But I can guarantee you, for most places, I mean, unless they're so disgustingly successful that they don't even look at their social media messages, that if you did have feedback, I can guarantee you, people in this industry, like business owners, restaurant owners, we shit ourselves. If we see something where customers, there is a hint of dissatisfaction, we're just like up late at night, calling all the staff. What happened? I want to see the video. Like, we are so serious about feedback. Like, it's insane. Sometimes extreme to the point, but even if we don't show it to the customer, but I mean, the people at least that I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot of people, or amongst a lot of these people, they take it very seriously, and that's cool. I love that.
But you're right. Sometimes too seriously. My favorite is people that are like reviewing the Eiffel Tower, or Any great monument, landmark. Some of the wonders of the world have 3-star reviews. People are like, You're like,
What is it?
dude,
The
you
12
can't review
apostles?
Paris. Yeah, people are like,
The 12
I thought
apostles
it-
that are
Mona
now
Lisa.
like
Thought
8.
Thought it should be bigger. Yeah, you're like, oh my god. Like, maybe the
funny.
problem's Leonardo
No,
da
but
Vinci,
come on.
or maybe the problem's
Who,
you.
who in their right mind follows a review for, a landmark?
But this is it though. People are
Yeah.
just dissatisfied, and you can't take every review
But it's
seriously.
all about it's all about the algorithm, right? Like I've had some professionals say to me, I don't care if I just get 1 or 2 stars. I just want people to review because
Wow.
it generates even more and more, like increase in traffic when you get more reviews on your Google. And that's the thing. They're just like, okay, bring it on, as many reviews as possible.
So
Yeah.
coming up, learning marketing, not succeeding
Yeah.
in Bangkok scene, but learning a lot and then going and working in software was such a good experience for me because everyone in software is really boring and their marketing
Uh-huh.
is terrible.
Uh-huh.
And the opportunity there is huge because
Yes.
all I learned about like
I would love to
there's
work
no
with
such
software
thing as bad
people.
press. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to conferences, everyone was wearing grey hoodies, and I was like, okay, next year my
How
team is
come?
all going to wear long, multicolour, amazing
Amazing.
Technicolor
With
dream
wings.
coats. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then the last conference we did, not only did we all wear those, but every day we would give out 20. So it was the conference, the
Ah.
colour just spread
Oh,
throughout.
nice.
Yeah, it's much more fun being a crazy person in a nerdy space than a nerd in a crazy space.
I have to say, when I started when I didn't even know the whole PR sphere, I was one of those crazy people in this kind of very serious industry. Because PR back in those days was, I have to say, it was pretty uptight. Because we're talking about traditional media, and if you're a blogger, you're like, what?
I had to know a
Lord,
journalist.
the blogger.
You had to-
just take pictures, motherfucker.
So you had to have gone to
Yeah.
university with someone who worked at the Bangkok Post.
Yes,
And
pretty
everyone
much.
was
Yeah, you were like,
you weren't invited to the dinner
you were
party.
an
darling.
elite, media elite, or
Yeah.
journalist, trained journalist. But all these people that are coming on along there, so you're just coming here to eat for free. And maybe some of those cases were true, but fuck, I'm still around. I still stuck it out.
Yeah.
And even there was even cases where I tell you honestly, back in the day, it was that whole "you can't sit with me" thing. So you would have the media, respect, of course, to the proper serious media, and then you'd have the random blogger at the time, which was a new term. And they were
How
not.
were they treating like BK Magazine and then Coconuts? Were they like?
That was fine, but these were like no names, like on Instagram or even just people who had their own Facebook profile, like me. So fair enough. They were like, "Where the fuck are you? Why are you at my
Yeah.
table?"
What's your
And
company
then
and, what's your
they
university?
would grab their drinks and go somewhere else. And I remember there was one time I was literally sitting by myself.
Celine Dion
No,
starts
but
playing in
it
the
just,
background.
little baby violin.
There was only one time.
It
She
was
as an
like-
extrovert, she remembers
Seriously,
it with
like,
trauma.
I do. It was seriously like Mean Girls, but you know what? It just made me even more fucking, determined.
Okay.
And thank God for that, actually, because that has stuck with me forever. And I don't even blame them. I'm just like, this is sort of, who would have thought that the landscape would shift of media, of the industry would shift so much. And since COVID and since AI, it's insane. To the point where, there's barely any print media, comparative to before. Even magazine, even like not only magazines, but newspapers that aren't even in print anymore. It's all online. The proof is in the pudding, where my clients, that sometimes they even say to me, "We want the KOLs, we want them."
What's KOS?
Key opinion leaders.
Okay.
Which sort of covers, bloggers, influencers, and it used to be the other way around. It used to be like, no, we only want serious media, and we want to be published, and it's a little bit scary for. I can understand it's scary for the traditional media that it's going in that direction.
It's quite sad actually. I contacted Bangkok Post a year ago, literally their sales department, saying I'd like to buy an ad, and no one got back to me, and I'm like, God, I can't give you money now. What is wrong?
There's another issue is the definitely the staffing is a massive issue. To try to find skilled writers, and then do you even need writers now? I mean, if somebody knows how to, I mean, I'm not talking about traditional media, but like let's say food websites, you know, you can just get the PR, you get the press release, you know, you break down the facts, you put it through Chat GPT, and then you ask it to make it sound a little bit more like you, right? You know, you've trained it.
Yeah. I met someone that had built a Chrome extension that lets you skip the fluff and get to the recipe. And I was like,
dude, what is it?
Genius,
Tell me now.
right?
Show me now.
Link in the show notes. Isn't that amazing? Then you're like, I don't care about your trip to Italy. Just I'm here with a cracked egg in hand, panicking.
Yes.
So I started this project with confidence, and now I'm googling one-handed, and I don't need to hear about your holiday in Italy.
Yes, you know, and it's going to get to that point. It's going to be that easy. So, and that's also reflecting, obviously, my business and how, or anyone's business in the restaurant industry or in PR, how we have to adapt now. You know, how like what's, you know, what drives me crazy, and I'm sure a lot of chefs will agree, is now they're involving the staff to be the, you know, at the front, you know.
Yeah.
To be the
building in public.
You know, to be the performing monkeys, you know, like, you know, with the pans and the dancing and the acting.
When the staff at MK dance, I just can't look at them. I just feel sorry for them. I feel so awkward.
Yeah, that's a little bit awkward, but
but that's what all restaurants are doing now, in front of the camera, even in front, not just the people in the room are feeling awkward, but everyone has.
And they even have scripts, you know, scripts for them. Okay, so today we're going to do a story, and the chef has to be, you know, like with the pan and pretending to do this and whatnot. And I can just imagine chefs, I mean, like serious fucking chefs, who have studied in, you know, in the culinary, you know, gastronomy industry for many years, to be ending up literally like banging pots in front of the camera.
Eating every minute.
Sometimes it's fun, but like this is what we've been reduced to, you know. We're all like performing. It's just insane. But anyway, that's a bit scary. That's a little bit scary.
I blame you, Sam. You're ahead of the curve.
No.
You've dragged the industry this way.
No. So that's why I avoid to be, apart from this, I avoid to be on in front of the camera. Yeah.
So this is a rare exclusive interview.
It is. Yay.
Good. Well, it's been lovely. Anything, you know, what's your main recommendation? I don't care about tourists, but people that move to Bangkok. What's your main recommendation?
No, it's gonna go again. Oh no. Okay. What to do while they're here?
What's your main recommendation? Not for tourists, because who cares about that? But for people living here, what do you think they're sleeping on? What's an underrated experience?
It's kind of a loaded question because everyone is different in terms of what they would find rewarding or what they would get value out of.
But people that like you,
oh, like me?
and don't like you.
Well, I would
what's being
say.
slept on at the moment? What are people missing
Apart
out?
from my husband. What are they missing out on? You mean experience-wise?
Yeah.
I think people are missing out on authenticity. And now I'm gonna fucking plug myself right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that also sounds a bit shady, but plug myself in the best possible way.
OnlyFans link in the comments.
Is places that heritage places, you know, like this freaking table, this teak, you know, and it's from reclaimed teak wood. It's an old Thai house, you know, all these sorts of, and it's happening, like what they're doing in Talat Noi, you know, like renovating these beautiful Thai houses and having these very cool and kitsch Thai restaurants, or there's even like a Thai yakitori restaurant. There's places like Electric Sheep, you know, sort of based on the movie Blade Runner. You know, sort of this sci-fi.
So a unique view, because often it's with the owners chasing the algorithm, it's the snake eating its own tail, and so you can go into a restaurant and not know what city you're in, right? And so
Yeah.
having that combination of like a bit of traditional Thai, but also someone with a unique vision.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. You pretty much explained it beautifully. It's not just go to an old Thai house and eat Thai food. It's like what the what the modern world and what the young people, not just young people, but young in their head, people are doing with Thai tradition and heritage, and how they're sort of spinning that is really beautiful. And I think that's definitely something that should be discovered. That's not to say, I mean, spend a day in a mall. You know, we have so many goddamn malls.
Well, that is the authentic Thai experience.
Yeah,
If you ask a Thai
come
person
on.
what they're doing this weekend, they're going to shopping.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's fully air conditioned and.
But I think that's
but
key though,
please-
is areas, neighbourhoods. So if you're going through a top 10 things to do in Bangkok, you're shooting around from taxi ride to taxi ride, right? A place that has a queue to another place. Whereas if you know like a good neighbourhood and you can just make your way slowly around there, not staring at your phone for the next advice, but just what looks good, what looks interesting. Like get your head up, look around, actually experience a neighbourhood.
Yeah. You know what? Like Sukhumvit has so many little gems, but you need to actually get off your ass and walk.
Yeah.
Walk. You know, just go through the back alleys, the side streets, and you'll discover little gems like this. You know, and the most obvious place where everything is pretty much, you know, concentrated is Chinatown, and as I said, Talat Noi. You know, so I think just that whole thing is to avoid ticking boxes. Okay, yeah, you know, you want to go to J5, that's cool, line out, whatnot. But why not support? There's loads of other places to support, and that would fucking love to have your patronage. And, you know, and it's cool to share. You know, these places are, you hear sometimes say, oh, this little hidden place and it's quiet. Places don't want to be quiet.
Yeah, it's a bad sign.
Okay, in the off hours, it's normal to be quiet, but please, like, people share. If you find a cute little kitsch place in a back alley or back street, share it. You know, because trust me, the owners would appreciate it. And
not everyone has to be a social media influencer that films a TikTok about it.
No,
A Google review goes a long way.
It's massive, you know, and I can guarantee you, like, all these places are disappearing. You know, these family businesses. It's quite sad because, you know, first of all, not all of them survived COVID, and the ones that are still hanging on are competing with the malls that are opening. Which, no offense against the malls, I love to go to the malls as well because there's some awesome places in the malls. But of course they're competing with all the new malls, with all these, let's say, groups, restaurant groups that are coming out with all these hip, you know, fucking cool chains. So I think that's another thing. Thank you for asking. But if you do discover businesses, maybe also have a little bit of perspective in terms of look into the background and see who actually are you visiting. Essentially, who are you supporting? You know, I don't want to be anti B Corp, but I mean, if you don't support these family businesses, they will absolutely die. They will go away. So that's something definitely. I mean, if someone could write an article, don't say me, about these little places, little or big places, all these heritage places, homes that have been like renovated and stuff, that would be amazing. So that's something that people are missing. But I don't think there is one centralized source of information where you can get that. I think you really have to do your research. Or, as I said, get off your ass, just walk around the neighborhood. Yeah.
But where could people follow you if they want more of this great advice?
They can message me on Bangkok Foodies. Yeah.
You are constantly giving people advice on crab fried omelets.
Oh, no. It's great, but they have enough business. So they could, you know, if they want more, that's great. But I love to spread the love. I think it's important.
Final thought, what's the
Yeah.
biggest mistake you think you made living in Bangkok? What was something you learned from a spectacular failure?
Oh,
Not your biggest mistake, your most fun mistake to tell a story about now.
God, that's the thing. I barely have memories of. I mean, it's all just such a sort of a blur. But
Oh, that's
mistakes.
good advice. Drink enough that you don't remember.
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I don't really have any kind of regrets. I would have to say, I think definitely anyone who has a personality where they are, they can become highly addictive, addictive. And for me, that wasn't really based on substances or anything. But for me, my addiction was stimulation, whatever that is. You know, whether it was going out, whether it was drinking, whether it was socializing, whether it was music and dancing, is just. I wouldn't say it was a regret. I would just say that if I were to pass on those wise words, is that try to moderate yourself as much as you can. But at the, I know, right? But at the same time, but you know what? But at the same time, you know, like let go and have fun. As long as you're respectful, as long as you remain respectful to your surroundings, to other people, to the culture. So
all things in moderation, even moderation.
not all things in moderation. Yeah. So no, I actually don't have that many regrets. I'm pretty pleased at how things turned out. I would like to have more free time. Maybe
you strike me as always overworking.
Yeah, that's something that I think the difference between maybe our generation and this generation, not saying that they have a lot of free time, but the way that we fill up our time, we're pretty serious in everything that we do, in every minute, or almost down to every second. It has to be like productive.
Yeah. But I also, when I saw you, like, at this point, I'm seeing you every 3 years, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And when I saw you 4 years ago, you seemed to barely have a minute. Whereas now, we have an hour. So.
Yeah. It took what, 3 months to make this appointment?
Yeah. We got thank you. And
really
thanks for the meal, by the way. It was really lovely.
Oh, thank you so much.
I paid for it. I'm not an influencer yet.
Oh, no, not yet. Don't worry, he's going to get lots of goodies after. Oh, no, that sounds wrong as well. Never mind. My husband's downstairs.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Was it okay?
Easy.
Thank you.